Welcome to Promo Insiders, an ASI media podcast that covers the topics that matter most to the promotional products industry. I'm CJ Mitica, and today I'm joined by three distributors whose companies are celebrating milestone anniversaries this year. In today's episode, they'll share how their companies have evolved and their secrets for business longevity. So we're going to meet our awesome panel here in a minute, but one thing I want to say just from the start, um, I had great respect for all you and all your companies. It's my parents started our chiropractors. They started their practice 40 years ago, and they've always told me their best friends are other business owners because they know their problems and their struggles. And so I have this tremendous respect for entrepreneurs and employees who get on the ground floor and build the companies just from the ground up. I know it's a lot of effort, and the fact that all your companies have lasted for 10, 20, 30 years is a remarkable achievement. And we're going to talk about that today. So I'm going to give a quick introduction to our panelists, and then I'll ask each of them an initial question. We have Marcia Tarnoff, the CEO and founder of Blank to Branded, who's celebrating 10 years this year. We've got Matt Sklar, the Executive Vice President of Dynamic Advertising Solutions, who's marking 20 years in business this year. And then last but not least, we have Tom Casad, who's the owner, and Kelly Taylor, his daughter and business manager of Totally Promotional, celebrating 30 years in business. Awesome achievement for everyone. So first, that's an awesome achievement. Round of applause all around. To start off with, let's find out a little bit more how your businesses got started and how they evolved. Marcia, let's start with you. Tell me the circumstances that led you to start Blank the Branded, and what's how the company has changed in the past 10 years.
Sure. Well, thank you so much for having Blank to Brand It myself on and with this amazing group of business owners. So, and congratulations. I hope in 10 and 20 years I'll be able to be sitting here with you all or in a similar situation. So, congratulations to you. So I was in the industry prior. I knew nothing about promotional products. I was in events and marketing prior, communications major, and did really events for parties and things like that were celebratory. And then I met someone after I had my first child, and they were looking for business development. And I said, for what? And they said, oh, we sell promotional products. And I was like, what's a promotional product? And that's kind of how it evolved. And about 3 months in, 4 months in, I had gotten this dusty old file. And it was like in the archives way in the back. I was the newbie, and it's like, see what you could do with it. And within about like literally 3-4 months, I was able to connect with a marketing agency that serviced Kraft at the time, Kraft Nabisco. And from there, it was like just a flood storm. And that's how I started in the business. And I was with a like company for about 13 years. And really, I decided at that point, I wanted to start a business that was able to, that I could continue and really prosper with my core values and instill that into the people I worked with. It kind of got a little big and got a little money, and the core values of where the company was kind of went away. So that's kind of how Blank to Brand It started. And it wasn't easy. As you all know, I was a salesperson and walked away from a book of business that was really difficult to do. And I did it. And a couple of years of trials and tribulations. And now 10 years later, we're here.
Well, thank you for sharing, Marcia. Matt, let's go to you next. I know you've been on the ground floor with Dynamic Advertising Solutions, if not at the very beginning, like very close to it. So you've been there for almost all the way. What's it been like in terms of how the company got started, and then how has the company just changed and grown in the past 20 years?
Sure. So yeah, when we started, I was in college. I needed a summer internship. The CEO and I knew each other growing up and ran into one another at a Halloween party. And one thing led to the next, and I showed up for an interview that Monday, and they didn't believe I'd be there. And that's now almost 20 years later. Similar to Marcia, we were in the event space. So we were throwing and hosting parties, and that led into a relationship that still stands with Heineken. They were our beer sponsor, and they came to us and said, we need swag to give away. And like Marcia said, like, who knew what was swag was 20 years ago? It was tchotchkes and You know, they wanted stuff to give out at these parties and we would have to source it. And we quickly learned how bad the industry was and realized that we could do this better. And that led to our event marketing, where we were doing promotions for Heineken and Ciroc, Starbucks, Liqueur, launching their brands, and then needing to get the product. What we quickly learned after a couple of years was managing people was significantly harder and less profitable than actually producing product and providing that for those events. So we quickly pivoted, which was not a word used back then like it is now, but went right into the product world, and have built the company. We are celebrating 20 years this year, so it's been a fun run. But from intern to vice president, it's been a crazy 20 years.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So 20 years is great, but not the best in the room here.
No.
30 years for Totally Promotional. And just on their website, just reading their story, all the different ways that the company has evolved, adding new capabilities, new websites. It's pretty amazing just to read, Tom, just how much your company has changed. So walk us through it. How did you start the company that is Totally Promotional, and really how did you evolve it over these past 3 decades?
Well, thank you for having us on. And I would say that I started dreaming about being in business when I was 15. And I started my first business at 22. I've been in business now for 52 years.
Wow, fantastic.
In the promotional product business, got started after selling another business to a public company. And basically that was in about 93, 94. And in 96 or 97, I had a desk in 93, 94 for promotional products and a printing business. And I basically went on the internet with one of the first ASI websites in 96, 97. And that's how we got started. First to 2008, we were strictly a distributor. Didn't manufacture any products, but I had a manufacturing background, as I used to make water ski equipment. And basically, so in 2008, I started producing decorating product that has led to about 180,000 square foot manufacturing facility.
Wow.
We produce about 80% of our products ourselves and sell directly through we've been an e-commerce company from day one. And that gives you a short run as far as how we've grown. We have a 22,000 square foot office. We have about 95 people in the office, and depending on the season of the year, 150, 200 people in the plant. We also drop ship from most major manufacturers. And then I'm going to turn it over to my daughter, who joined the company about 5 years ago.
I mean, you pretty much covered it. I mean, I just remember when I was, so I'm 33 years old. So when they started, I was only 3. And I remember, they originally started kind of as you alluded to. It actually originally they set up like a copy shop, like for making banners and signs and copies, that kind of thing. But then, as he mentioned, he got started with just one person basically selling promotional products, and it just kind of grew from there. But yeah, I had to laugh, Marcia, because you made that comment, like something about, well, what's a promotional product? And yeah, growing up, whenever I would try to explain to my friends like what my parents did, they're like promotional products, and yeah, so never sounded like the most exciting, but now here we are.
Kelly is also a registered pharmacist. And so she started out going to pharmacy school and then working in pharmacy for about 3 years. Her and her husband decided to move back and join our company as I was getting older, and basically joined the firm about 5 years ago.
Yep.
Well, thank you for sharing your story, Tom and Kelly. What I love is that there's so many different ways that people find this industry from all different walks of life, all different avenues of business, and when they're in it, there's not one single path. There's so many different directions that you can take, and I think your companies are examples of that. Marcia, I'm going to go back to you, and I'm going to change the order of the questions a little bit, but I'm just curious for you. The past 10 years, starting your company, running your business, what are the lessons that you've learned along the way that have just been instrumental to your success?
Sure. Well, first off, an environment like this, some people might be intimidated and to share with other like-minded professionals. I'm the opposite. I respect you. There's enough business in this industry to go around, and that trust or that mutual respect, that's what I thrive with. So I never heard of your companies. So after this, love to get to know you better. And even if there's anything I could ever do to help, and clearly I can learn a lot from the Taylor family. Wow, that is just impressive. Your story is impressive. So congratulations. We are like a small boutique. We call ourselves, we're a boutique agency with the muscle of an industry leader. So we're lean and mean, and we kind of do things. We think a little differently, but of course there's so many people that do similar things, but we work on experiences versus the product. So CJ, we had to understand where we fit in to this huge market, right? Because it's so competitive, and we had to understand how to do that. And figuring that out was a lot of exploration. And the bottom line is, the mighty dollar is really what kind of fuels much of who we are, what we do, and how we do it. And I had to realize, we're a women-owned business, we're a certified women-owned business, and I had to figure out how to, take what we do and how we do it and be profitable. And that took a little bit from going from ground zero to building the company. And so for a while I was in debt, quite frankly. And I had to realize that how to be debt averse, being in debt was okay. It was okay as long as it was healthy debt, right? And it was purposeful debt to make sure the company was moving forward versus it being debt where you're just, piling on and not being able to climb out from under. So I would say that is the biggest learning, is that two things is that, utilize smart, like-minded people. It's okay to talk, and it's okay to have mutual respect and learn from everybody around you. And, and make sure that, the most important thing that you're championing is I'll say, is your clients. And for us, the clients are not just clients that give you the business, but it's your back-end clients, it's your team. Because without a team, without the support of this collective, right, you can't do it alone. So that is, and make sure you try and stay true to the core values of the company. And I go back to, I think of other people as mutual respect, but I also think that internally, like mutual respect and having an environment that, breeds happiness. We work really hard in this industry, right? I don't know, you don't turn off, right? Because you're always looking for the next sale. You're trying to figure out how you're getting that next sale or all that good stuff. So to be around people all the time, you want to be happy. You want to like each other. You want to have an environment where, people go home to their families happy, So that was a big push on why we started the company as well.
Marcia, was there like a key moment or turning point in the company's history, or was it more like gradual?
It's a great question. I felt like the company, I was playing chess for a while. So here's a little piece that is kind of interesting. I think you'll all find it a little interesting. About 3.5 years ago, we were powered by Axis Promotions.
Right.
Axis was Larry Cohen, who was amazing. I learned a lot from Larry. And then they were purchased by Halo. We remained women owned. We decided not to be part of the bigger purchase. But that was one of the moves that I made to stay afloat and to become profitable and to understand how to grow and learn from other people in the business that were very good at what they did. And so after they were purchased, I had to buy back my shares, and at that point we were in a much healthier place because I learned different things that I didn't know about money and business and just how to utilize resources around you, whether it's vendors. Again, vendors are another key component to the success of our business, right? Without them, we can't do what we do. So I hope that answers your question a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. Matt, so you were young guys with a young business. Maybe you thought you had all the answers. Maybe not. Maybe you were more wise than that. What did you learn over the
answers?
What did you learn over the past 20 years?
I mean, the industry in itself has changed so much. I mean, COVID put it on steroids, but warehousing and fulfillment wasn't something that people did in our industry. It was all, like Tom said, you're shipping direct. So we started in about 2011 when we moved to Philadelphia, or our corporate office. That was kind of the big pivotal moment for us. We were out of Arlington, Virginia, Washington, D.C. when we started the company. The three founders, we all went to school in D.C. Myself and the CEO grew up in Philadelphia, so we came home. And that allowed us really to open up more capabilities with the warehousing and fulfillment and e-commerce, like Tom mentioned. That kind of is where our industry has gone. And it's just figuring out how to stay, ahead of what's happening in our world. I mean, when the pandemic hit, we didn't know what was going to happen, 2 weeks into it, and then figuring out how to survive and then prosper in it and provide solutions. So I think that was a huge learning, curve for us. Has always been trying to figure out what's the next move in an industry that's always changing. Marcy said it's not about the product. The pen is the pen, but it's why are you using it and how are you using it and how are you getting it where you need it to be, and figuring out those solutions has really been for us the key to success and growing and evolving.
Was there a point in time where you felt certain, like this is going to work out? We're going to make it.
It's fun. Like, it's been 20 years and it feels like yesterday. And I think for us, it was that slower, like there wasn't just this pivotal moment of, okay, we've succeeded. I know for us, breaking 10 million in revenue was a pivotal moment. And, that happened actually, I think, right during COVID, give or take. I think it was the year before, and like 2017, 2018. And that was kind of like where we realized like this is truly sustainable. And it's always been Andy, the CEO, his mission to provide like a great place for people to work and become successful. And he's made the business more about others than about himself and the company. So he's providing, those opportunities for us to, build a great life for ourselves and our team. And, that's kind of how it's evolved. And when we realized like we're able to sustain this and grow it and scale. So now we're just, on the hunt for the next.
Great. Fantastic. So Tom, distinguished business career spanning 50 years. What business wisdom did you bring into the promotional industry when you started Totally Promotional? And then what did you learn working within the industry over these past 30 years?
One thing I've been saying for 30 years is it's about the customer, it's about our employees, and it's about the company, and it's that in that order, including the vendors under the company. And we've had vendor relationships that go back 50 years, 45 years, been with the same bank for 48 years, been with the same accounting firm for 50 years.
Wow.
And I never get up in the morning and basically not try to improve the business. So a big part of my day is thinking about improving the business. I'm always running scared from the standpoint of, if I don't do this, I don't keep up with what everybody else is doing, I'm going to go out of business. And so basically, and I enjoy doing that. So that's been a pleasure for me to be in business for 52 years. And so we're in constant customer service improvement. We're in a constant improvement with our user experience on our website. We spend between $1 million, $1.5 million a year improving our website.
Wow.
We have 30 people working on our website.
Wow.
So basically, in the last 10 years, I've worked without a computer at work, even though I put 15 to 20 hours of research in every week at home. Basically, I spend the last 10 years trying to get my crew ready to take over when I'm not going to be here. And in particular, the last 5 years with my daughter.
Yep. Yeah, constantly. Like, I feel like we've got to really, I feel like we have a strong set of like a management team in place. And I mean, he's just constantly meeting with them, you know, helping push them forward and, you know, looking for ways we can improve. So and it's been nice to see their growth too. Like you know, like our, person that's in charge of our marketing department, she started here, she was a category manager. She only started here maybe 7 or 8 years ago. And now she's like the leader of our marketing department. So he's really like put a lot into helping people grow and grow into their roles, which I think is important. In terms of, I was going to say too, in terms of like what you brought into the company, I mean, I feel like when he tells me about when they used to have their water ski business, it just sounds like there was like so many like challenges and headaches. I mean, first of all, that was before the internet. So like they were going like, I mean, all over the world to different trade shows and bringing merchandise with them. And I'm just like, how does, like, I didn't even know how that was possible. I mean, now, you know, you just sell stuff online and it's nice. You don't have to like trek all over and try and get business.
Another golden rule I've had is put as much money away as you can, because you never know when you're going to need it.
Yeah, great advice, Kelly. So now working with your dad, obviously growing up with him, what's been his wisdom that he shared with you that you're using now working in the business?
I mean, I feel like the biggest example he set for me, and even just like stuff my mom will talk about just when they were getting started and everything, I feel like he like always, whenever there's a problem or something, he doesn't let it like set him back. He's like always looking for the solution, and you can't just be like, oh, well, this didn't work, so I guess we're done, and just give up. You just have to work through it. Like, how can we solve this? And then on to the next thing. So I think just realizing that, you know, I mean, kind of even, you know, Marcia, you alluded to like the debt thing. Like, you have to realize, like, as long as you're being smart about it and you can get out of that, like, there's always a way forward. You can't just give up just because you encountered a roadblock. You gotta find the way around it.
So, Tom, if someone asks you, what's the secret to longevity in business, what do you say?
Never-ending improvement, making good decisions, putting money back for the rainy day, getting out of debt, being able to run your business the way you want to run it without worrying about the seasonality of the business.
Mm-hmm.
Looking for the long term.
Great advice. Matt, same question to you. You can steal Tom's answer if you want to, but what do you feel is the secret for longevity in business?
Yeah, I definitely agree with Tom. And what I would add is surrounding yourself with individuals that have similar, like-minded ideas about, you know, the business and growth and opportunity and trying to improve every day, but making sure that, you know, you do have people that are creative and have their own ideas. Because if everyone is like-minded, then you're all headed, I know it sounds counterintuitive, but in the same direction. But you have to have those differences to build and grow. And I think making sure that every day you try and be a better person, personally and professionally.
I think that's great advice.
That hunger and that desire. I mean, like Marcia said, we all sold ourselves to the sales devil when we went into promotional products. So, you know, days off don't exist, but you know, having that drive every day to do it and enjoy it. And for us, that's how we've built our company. Is we don't always hire the best salesperson, but we try and hire the best person. We can teach someone to sell and they can learn the industry, but do they fit in with our company culture and what we're trying to achieve? Because you have to go to work happy every day. If you're miserable when you walk in the door or you're unhappy when you get home, it's just not something you can continue to do. So you're entitled to a bad day here and there, but we try and make sure there's.
You know, I want to add something there. You never want to stop thanking your employees.
Of course. Yeah.
It's great advice. And Norman Cohn, our owner at ASI, thanks his employees all the time. So it's great advice.
Yeah.
Thank you, cheap and easy, which, you know, in our industry doesn't always exist, but it costs nothing to say it, and it makes a world of difference.
Yeah. So, Marcia, 10 years in business is a great achievement. 2/3 of companies don't last 10 years. So just by the numbers alone, it's remarkable to be in business that long. So for you and your company, what do you feel has been the secret for longevity?
The secret not a secret, is the sense that, when you need help, you need help. When you need to seek out an alternative path, like, we have to be able to embrace it and do it and not be fearful of what's next. And that is really what's helped move us forward. Fearful of what's next during COVID was fearful, right? Not knowing what was next was extremely uncomfortable, right? And thank God for PPP loans. Thank God for, our rally cry internally, because many did not survive. And when they had to let people go. We're smaller and leaner, like I said. So we reserved and conserved, and we figured out things to do, looking at expenses, looking at different things, how to manage that, that we'll call it interim phase of what was the unknown. Because it wasn't even like business stopped. It was like, even all the business you had, the clients weren't paying you for 120, 140 days. And it was like, and all the things you had just shipped out were coming back. And it was just, I guess all of us are that much stronger for it, because we did survive, right? And that is during COVID, one of the major things that we did is we did sell our brick and mortar. So we are all remote right now, and we utilize our partners around the country for our fulfillment kitting, because that was a big, we'll call it, uptick in business for us as well, because we are a little bit more, we'll call it that white glove service, in the sense that a lot of the things we do are a lot of consultative and a lot more in person when we could. And we're really excited getting back to that, by the way. That's, what we do best is being in person, setting up those relationships, and having, fostering in that. So I would say, don't forget who you are. Don't forget what made you successful. And that compass of why you're in this business, and like what you're doing with everybody around you. I've also come to terms with, in the promotional products world, not in the world, I've come to terms that I cannot change the world in my professional life, but I can change and affect the people that I work with. And that is the most important thing to me on a daily basis. Tom, I think it's amazing. Like, I also, as a mom, like, kind of stretch myself sometimes, and like, I figure out how to, I don't wake up and do as much as you do, but you have inspired me to do more, to grow like you have. I mean, I don't know if I would ever be as big as your amazing company, but the way you talk and the passion that you still have in your life today is really wonderful. And I commend you, and you've sprinkled some of that fairy dust around today.
Thank you.
So let's look forward. So let's also, I'll stick with you, Marcia. So 10 years in the future, maybe 20 years in the future, where do you imagine your company is going to be?
So looking at Matt, Matt, I don't know, you said you're about 30. How old are you?
I'm 40.
40. Okay. And I see Kelly sitting next to her dad. I have 3 sons. I have 3 amazing sons, 27, 24, 17. I would love, once they, kind of, I won't say complete their journey, but understand their journey, I'd love them to be sitting next to me. And Katie Bauer, she is president of the company. She is amazing. She is the future. She is what helped me. And she was my succession plan as I was moving forward and figuring out what's next. She is on the ground, and she is killing it. She's out there with, making sure that the clients that we have know who we are, and that how much we appreciate their business and thankful. So I would say in 10 years from now, I'd love my, 1, 2 of my boys to be sitting here and really bringing it to that next level. Like you, Matt, like you're having fun with the people you grew up with. My son has all these he went to Boston University. All his friends are successful in business. Like it'd be the perfect place for him. So I hope I'm as lucky to have, my son sitting next to me like you, Tom, with your daughter.
Matt, for you guys, let's say, in 10, 20, maybe even 30 years in the future, where do you hope that DAS is going to be at?
Retired on a beach in Hawaii. I got a feeling I'll still be doing this. It's funny, My dad was not a pleased papa when I decided to graduate university and become a pen salesman. Obviously that has changed, and I've proven that this is something we can do successfully, and it's become something bigger than the three of us when we started it. It's crazy to think about it. I mean, where we could be in 10 or 20 years. What I love about my company is I'll kind of be in that position that Tom's in now. We always joke when we were hiring people, we would say, look at our CEO who's 2 years older than me. Like, this company has the lifespan and the ability, like Tom sitting here now when he started it, 30, 50 years ago. So it'll be fun to see, a CEO in 20 years only be 60, and still pushing forward. Hopefully we've grown and improved our capabilities, but it'll be fun to see the future. Like Marcia said, that the younger generations come in, and like, I'm old at this company. Half my team is in their mid-20s, which is weird. I'll make a reference to a movie or a hip hop artist, and they have no idea what I'm talking about. So it'll just be interesting to watch what we can provide and make a home for others, and hopefully we're successful.
Great. Tom and Kelly, it's fantastic that have family working together, next generation involved. What are the hopes? Where do you want Totally Promotional to be looking decades down the line?
I want to hear what Kelly's got to say.
Well, I just want to still be here. I always tell him, I'm like, oh, I don't know, like this, it's still like, I mean, I'm excited for it, but I can't help but be a little intimidated, especially like, I watched him build this up as I grew up, but now we're, I mean, we're still we're in the grand scheme of things, we're still a small business, but, we've got, a couple hundred employees. There's just a lot that goes into it, all our different departments, just legal stuff alone. I mean, I've kind of been involved in that side of it recently, and, it's been a good learning experience, but yeah, it is kind of intimidating. But it's exciting at the same time. And luckily too, my husband's really supportive. As he mentioned, my husband's involved in the business too. So we're like, we think it's just such a great opportunity. And also, I don't know, Marcia, you were mentioning you have 3 sons. I'm an only child. So it was kind of like, okay. I mean, and it was never expected of me to like take it on. And that's something that I appreciated too. Like my parents never were like, you have to do this. I kind of sowed my own seed for a little bit. I, went to college and got a degree and kind of did my own career a little bit. But then it was like, yeah, let's see how it goes. Let's give it a shot, because we've just been fortunate to build this all up, and we just hate to see that, have to sell or something like that. We'd like to keep it in the family. So I just hope to keep us growing, keep us a healthy company. I feel like, I mean, we're fortunate. We don't have any debt right now. Like we're a healthy company, and I want to see that continue. And I'd like to see our sales grow too, of course, like who doesn't, but just making sure we continue to be successful.
You got sucked in by the free samples.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Another thing I would also say about our company is we're an ethical company. We have a person with a law degree on staff, making sure that we do everything ethically from A to Z.
Yeah. And that's something I like always, I feel like that's something you fostered in me and the rest of our team as well. Like, we don't want it to get into any like gray areas or skirt around anything. We always are wanting to do the right thing whenever possible. So that's something I want to continue to.
So there's been tremendous wisdom shared here. Let's just wrap up with some final thoughts. Matt, let's start with you.
Final thoughts?
Yeah. Last bit of advice, wisdom you want to share with our audience.
I mean, from a personal standpoint, I think it's important to be happy, to show up to work and appreciate the opportunities, that our organizations provide us and provide others. At the end of the day, we're selling products, but really we're selling solutions. And it's important to remember and build relationships. in your office and in your companies, it's all about that human connection and relationship. And personally, I think it's important to make sure from a professional standpoint that, you build smart, good business. Not every opportunity is a good opportunity. I believe in the saying, some opportunities are disguised as distractions or distraction. How did I
Like
mess
that.
that up?
Distractions are disguised as opportunities. Yeah.
Yeah, some distractions are disguised as opportunities.
Yep.
It's a Facilis saying. Not all business is good business, but it's making sure that you're working with people that you enjoy. It's like Marcia said, clients are more than just a dollar and a ticket and a sale. It's a relationship, and it needs to last. And it really needs to make sense for both sides. If one side is not getting value from the other, it's not always a great relationship. And building a company takes those hard decisions, making decisions between great clients and bad clients and vendor partners. In our industry, unless you're Tom, you don't produce most of your stuff. So we trust someone else to produce it. We trust someone else to deliver it, and you never see it. And it's the craziest business model. It just doesn't make sense, but it's billions of dollars. And making sure that you're aligned with good individuals on all sides, to me, is the most important thing. But I value the time we've spent today, and I appreciate the insight and hopefully the new relationships and friendships. And I wish you, all the best in the next 10 and 20 years. And Kelly, you haven't lived till you walk the Javits floor for an ASI convention. So have at it, but I wish you both amazing congratulations and best wishes. And Marcia, I hope the next 10 are as good as the first.
Thank
CJ,
you
thanks
so
for having
much.
me.
Yeah, thank you, Matt. Marcia, we'll go to you next. A final bit of wisdom you want to share.
Final bits was I was so honored to be asked to do this today. So thank you so much. We're kind of all in our little silos behind some, these days a screen or whatever. So to be out here talking to others and just kind of like hearing the stories is just awesome. So thank you. I would say, circling back, just like thinking about it, is I just, bring your authentic self to the table every day, and whatever that means to you and your company. Like I said, I don't need to be the biggest. I don't need to be the largest. I just need to be what's good, a good fit for us, and continue to grow. I hope, in 10 years from now, Matt, I'll talk about being a $10 million company, and boy, Tom and Kelly, I don't know if I'll hit those numbers where you are, and that's okay. I will admire you, and by the way, I'd love to know more about your company. And just continue to make good, smart decisions, and decisions that help myself, my clients, and most of all the team that we're around every day. And that's all I can say. But I have been inspired by this call from Tom, because I think this is just on a personal note. Matt, you talked about personal, like every day is a gift, every day is a gift. So we if we act intentionally to be the best we can be, kind of whatever that might be, and we can have fun doing it, and that we can make some money while we're doing it, that's a good day. That's a good day.
Thank you, Marcia. All right. So Kelly, I'll let you go first, and then we'll wrap up with Tom. Go ahead, Kelly.
I don't know. I guess just echoing what everyone has said. I mean, yeah, just always looking for ways to improve, and yeah, wanting to enjoy when you come into work. And that's, I think, the people that you work with are a huge part of that. And so, we're fortunate we've got a good group with us right now. And, I hope to be working with them for a long time, because that definitely makes life easier.
We can't say enough about our employees.
Yeah, no, we have some great people, and especially like, I mean, I think we have one employee who's been with us, I think, a little over 25 or 26 years. So not quite the full 30 years, but that's been neat to see too. Just someone who I remember, at work when I was really young, and now, working alongside them. That's been really cool to see. So just wanting to see that continue.
Very nice. Tom?
Well, be happy. Keep on doing it.
Yeah.
And the last thing is, I'll repeat what I said, never let a day go by that you don't try for improvement.
Great. Well, fantastic wisdom. Our panelists have been inspired. I hope our audience has been inspired hearing their stories, sharing their successes. So again, a big thank you to our panelists, and thank you to our audience. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Have a great rest of your week.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks.
Take care.